Hey guys, welcome to Comfy Cozy Up. So this is one of my special videos because this is my fourth year of daily journaling. So I started journaling every day, starting from October 1st of 2019. And it was I talked about this every video about the fact that I was stressed and going through a lot, and I started journaling, and I capture every moment, the healing process, the good days, the bad days, the in between, the days when nothing is going on. But I wanted to capture all those moments in my journal, and it just took off after that. I find that I loved it. I find that it is a part of me, that I have not missed a day. I have days where I have so much to say, and I have days when I don't have a lot to say. But I realize journaling is still something that is necessary for me to do to keep a balance. Now, I'm just going to, in this video, because of course I have tons of other videos that I've done talking about journaling, but this video I'm going to talk about what has changed in the last year. And I have all these journals in front of me, starting from the first journal that I started in, which was this one, and it was from a company that no longer exists. But I love this journal, and it is still a special part of me, and I love the process. It was very much a brown paper. Like, the paper is brown, and I remember my first word of the day was love. So I started out using words as my theme for each entry. And it's just word prompts just works for me because there's so many different things I can do with it. And my first entry on October 1st, 2019 was love. And it was short, sweet, and of course that time period I did not use any art journaling. It just didn't come about until the following year. But ooh, I have not opened this journal in so long. So it's a little dusty. It's a little dusty, guys. So I gotta work on that. With that, I have changed what I've used. So, starting from the brown pages in here, and then I went to these as well. And this is also another company that no longer exists. And this one, of course, is when I realized how much I love thicker quality paper, because I started doing art journaling in this. It was still simple, where it's just stamps and stuff, but it was still something I enjoyed. And of course I used word prompts. I talked about so many things in these journals. I have not went through some of the older ones in a while to really think about what I have, wrote and how I felt and what my mind was. But I love these. These I also think are great quality, which is about, I had these. I'm very organized, and I love that I did that, where I put the, when I start a journal, when I end them, so that I can have it, because I have a shelf just for my journal in my bedroom. And I love that I have them dated, that years from now I could go back and look at it. Then I got to the Hobonichi, and Hobonichi had me in a chokehold for 2 years. And this is my Hobonichi that I have completed. And I love how I was able to do some collage on the covers for each, and also put the dates on them. And it was such a fun way, and I still love my Hobonichi. I still going back to using the Hobonichi I'm thinking of next year, but do a blend. But I love that Hobonichi can really abuse the pages. I mean, you can really abuse the pages with painting, with different things, and it is still intact. It's still beautiful. Different pen, different ink quality. Hobonichi still, for me, is just going to be it. So, and I also have my 5 year, which I use every day, and I am in year 3 in this one. So I still have 2 more years to go. And but I love this. I love to see where my mindset is, and I'm just like, I'm a creature of habits, and not a lot has changed when you think of the month. There's things that happen I realize recur every year at the same time, which is interesting to look at. But I love capturing moments of where, like, even this time period where I got my first sewing machine, which is a big deal, and it has been 2 years since I've been sewing. I also got my mannequin this week last year, and she is a beauty. I call her Jilly. And so I capture these daily moments in here. First is more so of my daily writing, where it's more of an emotional take, but this is like, oh, this happened this day, this happened that. So this is like a nice memory lane for me in my 5 year journal for the Hobonichi. So get some of these out the way. So then this year, well, last year I really got into doing junk journals. Junk journals became such a fun way to relax. Just making them, sitting down, creating these things, trying to test the waters and doing different creative things that I never thought I would be into or enjoy, but I find that I did. I had a lot of late night session where maybe I couldn't sleep, something was happening, and I was just like, oh yeah, let me make a junk journal. And that's what I did, and it worked. So when I started doing the junk journal, it was more of a fun thing, and I realized this year, the end of last year in December, I said I want to actually use my junk journal as a part of my daily journaling. And so I started, and this was my first one that I created. Let me tie it back. And I initially intended to use this for 90 days and then get back to my Hobonichi, and that didn't happen. I did 90 days and then it just kept going. So I did 3 days in this. I'm sorry, 3 months. I did January, February, and March in this, and I realized how much I like it because the pages were all different, because of the the crafting that I did in the pages. I love that I did signatures per month, so I had a theme in like the front where it's January, then there's February, and then of course March. So I like that, so I kind of like capture these moments. So this became more of a creative way for me to want to daily journal, because I think journaling every day take effort if it's not a part of your routine, but it also takes effort if you feel like, what do I even want to write today? And I find that because I have this creative journal, it's like, okay, what page, because sometimes I don't know what the next page is going to look like, because I've used different papers, different craft paper, different things in my journal. So it's like, oh, what's the next page is going to be? So, which sometimes is good, sometimes it's like, oh, how am I going to decorate this page, because I might use the craft paper that's a little weird. So it gave an interesting take to my way of maintaining this routine of daily journaling. And so when I did that, then it was April, and we had a journal mood, and I made one just for the month, because I did that previously in December. I did a Christmas theme one, and I used it, and I said, you know what, I'm gonna make one of these brown paper bag theme one. And I use this, and this was my first time using this form of I would say journal to daily journal. So again, I am challenging myself to try something new, and I forgot how I did this. Okay, there we go. To do something new and to use a different take, and this was such a beautiful journal. It was very spring. It really like captured my mood, and it just made like writing in this so special because it was different. What was also different in this journal, towards the end of this journal, is this year was a major change for me because my schedule changed. I had took a different position at work, and I also changed my schedule, which was dramatic, but it was so well worth it, and I love my schedule. So I find my mood was different, but also when I journal changed. Now I was used to journaling in the evening. Now I journal mainly in the mornings now. And then sometimes when I don't have the time, I get up in the morning, I'm just literally rushing to do things and get out of the house. It'll be late at night. We're talking 11 o'clock, 11:30, sometime at night. So my timing is not stable in terms of what I was used to for the last, 3.5 years, or I was doing it at a specific time. Now it's just sometimes not the same. It's all over the place. But I also realized that my mood is different some days. I had months this year where I would say, like, when we weren't doing challenge, where I find that I had to make really extra effort into to daily journal, and it was not it was a struggle. It was not great, but I knew I had to do this because things were happening. Things were happening, and I find that certain things I wrote even within the last couple, maybe last month, a couple of weeks, has been very dramatic in my journal because of how things are happening. But I still feel I'm still evolving in terms of in my personal life, and things that I am that's important to me and things that are not really important to me. So just writing in them can be, eye-opening, and as I'm discovering more things about myself. That's the best way to put it. I also made a gothic theme one, which I absolutely love, 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 love. This is probably my most ambitious junk journal that I made, because of how I was able to sew and create these two faces that is that you can, hopefully you can see it well without the shine. And this one was probably the most challenging to write in because it's a black and white theme, and I'm a color girl, so it just felt like I had to be more creative in how to maintain a black and white theme in this. And so that was a little challenge for me. But when I look at it and I open it and I actually go through the pages, sometimes I do that for this one. I love how it just had the theme and the decoration, and how much this, I would say, was the most calming period of my life. Very calm, very calm. I call it my most uneventful time in my life. And because the changes happens to me that stable me. I'm off on the weekends. I no longer work weekends, and I had more time to do more craft and sewing stuff and me time. There's so much me time that I was so balanced and so like waiting for like something to happen, because I'm so not used to this such a quiet period in my time. So I think this was one of those journals that I'm going to love to look back because of the quiet period that is in here. Then my current journal that I'm using is this green one, which is like a forest theme that I wanted to go for, and it would be great to capture two different seasons of summer leading into fall. And I love this. I would call this my spicy journal because it is spicy. The last month, the last couple of weeks, the things I write in here are things that I want to eventually turn into confession chronicles, because my blog is not as active as I want it to be. I mean, I only post right now once or twice a month, and I used to post twice a week. So I have a few confession chronicles that I'm going to probably take from some of these entries. My entries are also a lot of times my inspiration. It's not the full-length articles I post on my blog, but it is like the beginning and the start of that. So say there's an entry in here and I elaborate on it and turn it into a confession chronicle. So it is going to happen. I feel like I'm going to utilize this vacation time and this time of the year where I have so many days that I need to use, that I will be home more. that I'm gonna get back to writing a few more confession chronicles. So this is probably the journal I wouldn't want anybody to read. I don't want anybody to read none of my journals, to be honest. But this is one of the ones I'm like, yeah. So, so that's where I have now. I do have other fun journals that I have my fitness one because I wanted it to be bright, colorful, and this one is where I'm tracking my weight and how I'm doing. I have not been tracking the last probably 2 weeks on this, but I'll update it. And of course, one of my favorite journal is my sewing junk journal. So this is where I add what I've made, the fabric I've used. It's not quite updated. I think I need to add a lot more, but these are like the last entries that I made. So these are all the last items, summer items that I either wore or made, and of course my vintage dress that I wore on my mother's birthday. But just adding stuff like this. So this is another one way of using it, and because it is a hobby and something I enjoy doing, I keep a track of it in a journal, as well as for me of just making me smile and making me look back. So when I have days where I'm in a funk, sometimes I would go through this and just realize how far I've come in 2 years of making my own clothes. And this week I have been putting a lot of pressure on myself because I had a personal goal of, during my time off a week, I want to wear my own clothes for 7 days. And I put a lot of pressure on me for that because it's just something that I do sometimes. I give myself a challenge. And I am doing well, and I realized I have clothes that I didn't wear that's in the closet. So I was like, wow, I don't have to really go ham and making all these clothes now when I do have other clothes that I didn't even wear yet that are going to be great for this weather. Even though the weather is supposed to be warm again, we're back to the 70s again next week. So I don't know how I'm doing with some of these clothes because they're meant for warmer weather. So, but anyway, I just want to say, make journal personal, make it fun, make it a part of you, and capture all your moments. And that's one of the valuable thing about journal, is that you can't just focus only on the negative. I think so many people struggle to journal and making journal part of their life because they think of a journal as like capturing those hard hit moments. The very high of the high or the very low of the low, and they don't capture the in between. And I like this, going back and realizing like, okay, I overcome this. This was a dark day. This was a difficult day, but I'm doing better. And also the relapse. There's those days where you were so good and then something happened and you kind of like fell back a little. And then you try to look at how did you get through those, what was happening during that period of time in your life, and how you fought through those moments are very valuable in your journal. I love that I have this freedom with my journal where I don't have to hold on to it like a clutch. It's not where if I was to lose it, I will be so, no. I would be a little bit upset in terms of, because I'm such an organized person, I'm like, oh, but at the same time, these memories were released. These feelings, these emotions were released. I put them on paper. And so they're there, but they no longer have a chokehold on me where I can't live my life and enjoy my time with me. I'm learning more about myself as old as I get. I want another week. My birthday's in a few days actually, and on October 7th, and I'm still learning things about me. I'm still learning how to be the authentic me in different spaces, in different uncomfortable spaces. And I realize I'm doing a good job because of the feedback I get sometimes from people who are around me and let me know that they value me in ways that I never thought of. But I'm also realizing that I still have to be a protector of me and not give so much of me that I am stretched thin. And that's something I also learned in therapy. And I did do therapy the end of last year to the beginning of this year. And even my therapist is like, you're fine. It's one of those where you're fine and you just have to learn ways to navigate those moments where you're not in control. And that's my biggest issue is I am a control freak. I like to control things around me, and when it doesn't go my way, I deal with it in such a hard way that sometimes it's not healthy. So I'm learning, and just having these special moments in my journal to express how I truly feel is great, especially being an introvert. And I think most people who are introvert are do struggle because they don't communicate well with others on a daily basis. So of course they bottle all the emotion in and don't know how to really release it. And journaling is a charm. So I can really talk a lot about this. Not going to talk more about it, but just know that I am so glad I'm able to share this in this community. You guys know I host a journal mood every couple of months. So the next challenge, which is the 4-year anniversary, will be in November. So in the next couple of weeks, I will be posting how you can submit the word of the day, that kind of goodies in October. So, let me know how you feel. Are you are daily journaling? Do you journal a lot? Do you struggle to journal? Let's have a conversation in the comment section. And I will see you guys in the next one. I am just a journal girl. And I love it. All right, guys. Bye.